Everyone is warmly welcomed once again to our YouTube channel. So today, we've brought you yet another beautiful old hit movie. The movie is the 2007 Hindi film Awarapan. Without further delay, let's dive right into the full story of this movie. The movie starts with a man named White, who is involved in illegal human trafficking. He arrives at the port to inspect his latest container. Inside this container, several young girls have been cruelly locked up in an inhumane manner. White then tells his workers to separate the dead bodies found inside the container. Meanwhile, one of the girls who pretended to be dead tries to secretly escape from the container. At the same time, White, who was taking a phone call, notices her and orders his men to quickly catch her. Although the girl desperately tries to escape, eventually she ends up being captured by White. She screams loudly, pleading to be set free. Then, 1 year later, we're shown Shivam, who is standing by a pool, releasing caged birds while gazing up at the sky deep in thought. At this moment, Shivam's friend Kabir arrives and tells him that room 203 has been booked under Ronnie's name, and that Munna has already arrived and caused some trouble. When Shivam checks the room, he sees that a girl who was brought in for money has been murdered by Munna. Munna tells Shivam to somehow cover up the case. He says the girl tried to expose him, and that he shot her out of anger. Enraged by this, Shivam beats Munna up badly. Shivam works as the right-hand man of Bharat, a gangster who owns the hotel. Munna is actually the only son of Raja, Bharat's younger brother. However, Munna is considered an irresponsible and problematic person. After beating him up, Shivam hands Munna over to the police. Since this incident made the news, Shivam goes to meet Bharat in the evening to explain what happened at the hotel. At that moment, Ronnie arrives too. Ronnie is Bharat's only son. Everyone remembers that the hotel room was booked under his name. Ronnie shouts at Shivam, asking why he did such a thing. He reminds him that he's just an employee and should not interfere in family matters. Hearing this, Bharat gets very angry. He tells Ronnie to apologize to Shivam. This shows how much Bharat trusts Shivam. Ronnie then leaves the scene. Bharat then tells Shivam that his visit is timely, as he has a task for him. He reveals that about a year ago, he bought a girl from White. Yes, the same girl who tried to escape from White at the beginning of the movie is the one Bharat purchased. Recently, Bharat went to meet her again, but he has started to suspect that she might be involved in something. He says he's going abroad for a couple of days and asks Shivam to keep an eye on her and inform him of anything unusual. Then, Shivam goes to meet the girl named Reema, as instructed by Bharat. At that time, Reema is praying. Shivam waits until she finishes her prayer. Reema receives a call on her phone. Shivam saves the caller's number in his phone. After Reema finishes her prayer, Shivam tells her that Bharat sir has gone abroad on work, and he sent Shivam in his place. He tells her to contact him if she needs anything. Soon after, Reema gets another call. She asks for 5 more minutes. Then she tells Shivam that he can leave now. As she leaves the house, Shivam watches her to see where she's heading. She goes out with her friends. Shivam secretly follows Reema all day, observing her. In the evening, Shivam receives a call from Bharat. He tells him that there's nothing suspicious about Reema so far. However, watching Reema reminds Shivam of a past incident in his own life. During a police raid while a person was being abducted, Shivam and Kabir were escaping in a vehicle when it broke down. Kabir told Shivam to leave, and that he'd handle the situation. Shivam then hides in a nearby small town, watching what unfolds. That's when he meets Alia, a beautiful young girl, who arrives with a cage of birds and tells Shivam that he should buy and release one, as it will bring him peace. Shivam replies that he doesn't need any bird. After a while, Kabir returns and both of them leave the town. But Shivam cannot forget Alia's face. Later, Shivam stops the car and frees the abducted person from earlier. Unable to forget his chance encounter with Alia, Shivam keeps going back to meet her. He buys birds from her and sets them free. Eventually, Shivam falls in love with the beautiful Alia. One day, while the two are together, Alia's father catches them. He brutally beats Alia. Shivam stops him, declaring that he loves her and wants to marry her. Alia's father says he would never give his daughter to a criminal like Shivam. Shivam then hands him a pistol and says if he allows the marriage, Shivam will leave all of his criminal activities. Alia's father slowly takes the pistol and says, if you want to leave this life, you must die. He tries to shoot Shivam, but Shivam quickly jumps aside. Tragically, the bullet hits Alia, who was standing behind Shivam. She suffers a fatal wound. Overcome with guilt for causing this to his own daughter, Alia's father takes his own life. Alia, who truly loved Shivam, dies in his arms. This moment brings Shivam a harsh wake-up call. Then, Reema calls him, saying she needs his help. As Shivam goes to meet Reema, he also meets a man from his past, the one Shivam had rescued during the abduction incident. Now a monk, he asks Shivam if he remembers him. He thanks Shivam for helping him find the meaning of life and choosing the path of peace. At that moment, Reema arrives. She takes Shivam to a small chapel. She says she had asked the priest there to make a small idol, but since she can't go there herself, she asks Shivam to bring it for her. Though Shivam had lost faith in God after Alia's death, he goes and brings it for her due to Reema's request. But even after returning, memories of Alia flood his mind. Noticing the deep sadness in Shivam, Reema leaves the idol in his car, saying, maybe you need this more than I do. Shivam starts to miss Alia deeply. Later, while going to the hotel, he sees Munna and his father Raja there, still furious about the earlier incident. Ronnie warns Shivam not to try anything foolish. At that moment, Raja tells Shivam that he should apologize for what happened in the past few days. But at the same time, Shivam is extremely angry. Shivam points a gun at Munna, drags him out of the hotel, and threatens Raja and the others not to get involved with him again. Raja says, you got mixed up with the wrong guy, let's see what happens, and then everyone leaves. Later, one night when Reema returns home late, she notices Shivam watching her from outside her house. Then Reema approaches Shivam and says, stop spying. Was it Bharat who asked you to do this? Shivam says no, nothing like that. He then says she should go home and that he's leaving too. As Shivam leaves, he notices the same car that came with Reema returning to her house. Immediately, Shivam turns around and starts following that car. That's when Shivam discovers that Reema has a connection with a guy named Bilal, who is often seen hanging out with her outside. Bilal tells Reema they should run away from the country and go to Pakistan as soon as possible. Overhearing this conversation, Shivam goes out and informs Bharat, saying, Sir, your suspicion was right. Reema is involved with another man. At that moment, Bharat says, she needs to be killed. Then Shivam takes the pistol from the car and heads to Reema's house. He badly beats up Bilal and tries to kill the terrified Reema, but seeing her helplessness, Shivam remembers Alia. Then he fires a few shots to the side and leaves the house. Bharat calls Shivam, but Shivam doesn't answer the phone. Bharat then realizes that something has gone wrong. He calls Reema, and this time she answers. That's when Bharat finds out Reema is still alive. Shivam then meets Kabir and tells him everything. Kabir asks, why didn't you shoot her then? And adds, now we'll be the ones to face Bharat Sir's wrath. Shivam replies, then let's run away to India. But Kabir disagrees with that plan. He says, I'll go kill her myself. But Shivam stops him and says, let's meet at the airport in 2 hours, and then he leaves. While preparing to go to the airport, as Shivam leaves his room, one of Bharat's men attacks him. They take Shivam to where Bharat is, who has returned from abroad. At this point, Shivam is still confused about how they found out everything. Then he sees Kabir and realizes he's the one who betrayed him and told everyone. Bharat then tells Shivam, "I'll forgive you, but you need to kill that girl." Shivam says, "I can't do that, sir." Bharat replies, "You have no choice," and walks away, instructing Ronnie to torture Shivam until he understands. Ronnie and his gang severely beat up Shivam. Then they throw him into a pit in a graveyard and cover it up. After some time, Shivam manages to survive and crawl out of the pit. Ronnie's gang is still waiting nearby. Then Ronnie takes Shivam to a warehouse and starts beating him again. But this time Shivam fights back, overpowers them, and escapes. Meanwhile, Bharat goes to meet Reema. He tells her, "I gave you a good life all this time, but you chose to run off with someone else. You belong right where you were before." He then tells her he'll kill her soon. While Reema is still with him, Bharat gets a call from Ronnie saying Shivam has escaped. Bharat then calls his brother and asks for help to capture Shivam. In return, Bharat promises him a share in his business in the future. The next day, a badly beaten Shivam arrives near a temple where Siddharth, a monk he once saved, is staying. Siddharth takes Shivam inside and begins treating his injuries. As he slowly recovers, Shivam remembers Alia. He realizes that his love story ended in tragedy because of his own mistakes and that Alia died because of him. He decides that to forgive himself, he must free Reema and Bilal from Bharat and his gang and give them the freedom they deserve. At that moment, Siddharth tells Shivam that a friend of his can help him escape to Kolkata. But Shivam says, "I don't want that chance. Give it to Bilal and Reema. Help me get 'em out instead. I no longer wish to run from anyone," Shivam says and sets out to find Bilal and Reema. At the same time, Kabir, working with Bharat's gang, is following Bilal in an attempt to capture him. But Shivam arrives at that spot and shoots everyone there to save Bilal. Then Shivam tells Kabir, "Even though you betrayed me, I can never shoot you. Please help me now. Watch over Bilal until I find Reema," he says, and sets off to find her. Shivam first goes to a hotel owned by Raja to look for Reema. When Raja doesn't give a proper answer about her whereabouts, Shivam kills him. Then he goes to find Munna and tells him, "I finished your father. Now tell me where Reema is." Munna then reveals where Reema is staying. As Shivam prepares to leave, Munna stabs him 3 times with a knife he had hidden. "You made a big mistake by messing with me," Munna tells Shivam. Despite the pain, Shivam takes out a pistol and shoots Munna in the leg. Then he grabs Munna's gun and tries to escape. In the process, he fatally shoots Munna. With great difficulty, Shivam heads to the hotel Munna mentioned to find Reema. At that time, Bharat has taken Reema to his hotel and is preparing to sell her. Shivam arrives there. He shoots all of Bharat's guards and reaches Bharat. Shivam says, "I want to take Reema with me." Bharat asks, "If I don't let you, will you shoot me?" At that moment, Shivam shoots and kills Bharat. This leads to a huge fight with Ronnie and his gang. Risking his life, Shivam shoots everyone, and Kabir arrives in the middle of the fight. Kabir tells Shivam, "I'll handle things here. I took Bilal to the port. You run away with Reema now." Then Shivam and Reema escape together. But Kabir is left alone to fight Ronnie's gang and doesn't last long. Kabir is shot multiple times. Eventually, Ronnie arrives and shoots and kills Kabir. Shivam takes Reema to the port and reunites her with Bilal. He tells them, "Run quickly. Ronnie's gang will be here soon. I don't have much time left," he says. Just then, Ronnie and his men arrive and open fire on Shivam. To buy time for Bilal and Reema to escape by boat, Shivam fights Ronnie and the gang alone. After some time, Ronnie is killed, but Shivam is also fatally wounded in the shootout.
मुझको सताओ।
In the final scenes, the movie shows Rima recounting these events in a media interview. She says, "He had no motive, no reason to help me. But in the end, he sacrificed his life for me. And that's how this intense movie ends."